Welcome to another Cardano update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our Discord server where we post multiple updates a day. And I'm sorry if this video is a bit late, I had something to do today. And I'm sorry if it's too short. I'm probably not going to say a lot because nothing has really changed. I mean, we are still at the 0.618 resistance level of the previous all-time high. And as I have told you many times, I mean, this level right here is very important, and it's very important that we get above it. Right now we are above it, but you know, we're only like 0.4 cents above it, and that's not really a lot. As you can see, we actually got rejected by this level multiple times. We got rejected here, this was the first time, then we got rejected here, then we got rejected here, and right now we are testing it for the 5th time, so at some point we will have to break above it, and I think it's only a matter of time until we do. Now, I have to mention that Bitcoin is currently going up, and Bitcoin dominance is also going up with it, which, you know, I mean, it's not unexpected because I did tell you that it's possible that Bitcoin dominance just does absolutely nothing until the 20th of January, until the president gets put into the office, and then we start dropping. For example, here, when the president was elected, Bitcoin dominance dropped about 7%, and I think the same thing will happen again when he gets put into the office. I think it's only a matter of time until we go down. Keep in mind, we had a cross on the bull market support band about, let's say, 54 days ago. And yeah, I'm still expecting the price to go down at some point. Well, Bitcoin dominance to go down, and everything else should continue going up. However, if you look at the Bitcoin chart, it's currently overbought on the 4-hour, so be careful. However, we are no longer in a lower high structure, which is good. We broke above that. We broke above the previous high right here. So I cannot confirm that the 4th wave move down is in, but I can definitely confirm that something more bullish is going on, because, you know, if something bearish was going on, we would not have gotten above this high right here. So yeah, things are obviously looking good, and I'm still expecting Bitcoin to go higher. Like I said, I'm expecting it to hit about $255,000 by the end of the year. I will stick with my prediction for the entire year. I'm not going to change it. It has been the same for many months now, and I think it will happen. Now, if it does not happen, this will be the worst cycle ever. Now let me explain why. I have not really talked about this, so I think right now it's the perfect time to do it. So as you can see, right now we have these resistance levels on the chart. We are almost at the 1.618 extension of the previous all-time high. Are we going to top here? Well, I don't think so, because if you look at what happened in the previous 2 cycles, for example, in 2017, we got above the 4.618 extension of the previous 2013 high, and in 2021 we got to the 3.618 extension of the previous 2017 high. But keep in mind, before we actually had this move to the upside, we had a pandemic drop, and I think, but this is just my opinion, so you know, take it with a grain of salt, I think the price would have gone to about the 4.618 extension again, maybe even above it like it did in 2017 if it weren't for the pandemic. And this means that, well, we could get to the 4.618 extension in this cycle. That's at $321,000. Are we going to get there? Well, I don't know. It depends on what Bitcoin wants to do. If it wants to get there, it should start going up right now because, you know, from where we are at right now, that's a 3x. I think this is very unlikely to happen, but, you know, it's not out of the question. Now, the next target is the 3618 extension. This, like I said, is where we got to in the previous cycle, and there is a chance that we top right here as well. But keep in mind, in the previous cycle we had a pandemic drop. In this cycle we did not have any drop, so yeah, I think it's possible to get to the 3.618 extension. If we do not get there, then the next target would be $189,000, which is the 2618 extension. However, like I said, if we do that, this would be the worst cycle so far, even comparing it to the 2021 cycle, which had a pandemic before it. So yeah, we want to see at least $255,000 by the end of the year if we don't want to call this the worst cycle ever. Now, I keep getting questions like, where is it going to bottom? And well, it's hard to say where exactly it will bottom because that all depends on where it tops. But if it tops at, let's say, about $255,000, exactly at the 3618 extension, we are most likely going to go down about 70 to maybe 80%. So I think we will bottom somewhere between, let's say, $70,000 and maybe even $45,000 in the worst case scenario. It could happen, so you have to be prepared for that. And also, I mean, that always happens in a bear market. In the previous bear market, for example, Bitcoin dropped like 77%. And it actually dropped for about a year before starting the next bull market, and I think the same thing will happen again. And I know this is not a Bitcoin video, but whatever happens to Bitcoin, the altcoins follow it, and I'm still expecting Bitcoin to go higher. It's not a question. It's just, something that needs to happen because it has always happened, and I think it will continue happening. Now, let's talk about the Cardano chart for a second. Cardano is still looking extremely good. It's still respecting support levels. As you can see, let me actually zoom in on this. Let's go on the 4-hour chart for this. It's still in an uptrend, and yeah, the next target is still $1.30, which is the third wave target of this one to set up that we have on the chart. The second wave moved down right here, reacted to the 0.618 extension of the first wave, and then it bounced, and this third wave looks to be going up in an ABC structure, so the C wave target is at about $1.30. Then of course we will need a fourth wave move down and a fifth wave move up, and once we get these 5 waves, I will be able to confirm that the second wave move down is in, and that we're actually heading in a third wave of the third wave, which I believe will be the most bullish wave of the cycle. Well, it has to be, because the third wave of the third wave is always the most impulsive move of the cycle, so yeah, and also this makes sense because Bitcoin dominance is currently at cycle highs, and I'm expecting a drop like we got over here, and like we got in the cycle before that as well, and this cycle, and yeah, I think it will happen. It's only a matter of time until we start breaking down, and whenever that happens, that's gonna be the perfect time for Cardano to get a third wave of the third wave. Now, the minimum target for the main third wave to the upside, I've already talked about this many times, but the minimum target for that is the 200% extension of the hold 1-2 setup here that we have on the chart that we started after the bear market low in 2023 in June, and the minimum target for that is about $2.98. However, that's the bare minimum, and in my opinion we should get way above that if we want Cardano to top somewhere between $5 to $8. Now, of course, if we get to, let's say, the 200% extension, I think getting to $5 is okay. I mean, I think it's possible. But if we only get to, let's say, like $2 instead of the 200% extension, I don't think getting to $5 is going to be possible in this cycle. So it all depends on what the third wave does right now. Keep in mind, the first 1-2 setup of this third wave was very impulsive, which means that the third wave of the third wave needs to be even more impulsive than that. And yeah, we'll see whenever that happens. I mean, of course I'm expecting it to happen because, like I said, Bitcoin dominance is at cycle highs, and I think it's only a matter of time until we go up again. So Cardano is still looking good. Even on the weekly chart, it's no longer overbought. As you can see, it was overbought up here, and the price up here was at about $1.30, which is like 15 cents away from where we are at right now. And we are no longer overbought, which is quite good, because if we want to start going up right now, we cannot afford to already be overbought. So the fact that we are not overbought already is quite good. Now keep in mind, being overbought does not mean that the price has to go down, obviously not. For example, here in the previous cycle, Cardano was overbought for like 6 months, and yes, it did cool off at some point, but it never really got below the previous lows right here. So yeah, I think the same thing could happen again. This move that we have right now, well, that we had right here, I think looks very similar to this move right here, which means that whatever happened after that is this, and I think this will happen very soon. And so far I have been right about my predictions. Maybe this time I will not be right, we'll see. But I mean, I'm still looking forward to seeing what's gonna happen in 2025. And I'm still bullish on Cardano, obviously. I mean, I have no reason to not be bullish. It respected the support levels that I gave you, and it's above the bull market support band. The green line is still above the red line. Now, speaking of that, we need the green line to stay above the red line if we want to remain bullish, because if you can remember what happened in the previous cycle, when we started the third wave of the third wave, the green line of the bull market support band was always above the red line for the whole third wave of the third wave. And as you can see, after the red line went above the green line, that confirmed that the main third wave move to the upside was already completed. And yeah, that started the fourth wave move, which is somewhere around here. And after that, we had a fifth wave move to the upside, and that was it. That was the whole cycle. And I think the same thing will happen again, which means that right now we cannot afford to have a cross. We don't want to see the red line go above the green line. It's not going to be bullish. And if we don't want to do that, Cardano has to start going up right now, because if it doesn't, the red line will start catching up to the green line, and then we'll have something like this on the chart, and that will make a cross. And yeah, like I said, that's not gonna be the most bullish thing in the world. So you kind of have to hope that we are not doing that right now. If we are doing that, then we are probably looking at another correction, which could take some time. I mean, the last time we had a cross on the bull market support band was up here after Cardano topped in the first wave move, and then after that we just went down for about 6 months. This was extremely boring, and yes, I was making videos during this time, but nobody was watching them back then. And yeah, I mean, we got over this. Right now we are finally above the bull market support band, and we did have a cross. And yeah, the price has to start going up right now, and we actually need a very impulsive move if we want the green line to do something like this and not something like this, and then catch up with the red line. So yeah, that's all I have for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts, and if you want access to our Discord server where we post multiple updates a day. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.